A lot happened in From Season 2, so I'm just going to jump right into it. First, we got some new characters. They arrived on the bus. They were like between 22 and 25. I can't remember exactly how many they said there were. Most of them are, of course, just, fodder and background characters to fill in the town, but there's four that we get to spend some time with. We got Marielle. She's a pediatric nurse. It's Christy's fiance. We also find out that she's got a drug problem, so there's a little bit of drama revolving around that. We got this kid Elgin, and as soon as they get into town, he starts having visions and hallucinations in dreams. It makes him nauseous. I think we're going to learn a lot from him. I think he's going to be just like a person for us to get some clues from, not necessarily some answers, but he's also seen this lady in a kimono that's kind of mummified. Looks like maybe she drowned. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Then there's this little old lady named Tilly. She's a grandmother type. She's got cancer, and she's just trying to enjoy the rest of her time that she has. I've heard some rumors that people think that she's up to no good, that, she's a mole or something in the town, but, I don't know. I think she stands out because she is that fun-loving, trying to make the best out of a bad situation, grandmotherly type, that it just feels weird. And the last person that we meet is Randall. And this dude, they try so hard to make you hate him. He's a character that I foresee having a really good redemption arc, sacrificing himself nobly, whether he's going to be a big character or whatever. But the only reason that I think that is because they're trying so hard to make you hate this dude right off the bat. And we're going to talk about him a little bit later because he ties into Jim. Well, I guess before we talk about Jim, we should talk about Tabitha and Victor, since everything that kind of goes on with Jim is kind of in reaction to Tabitha. At the end of last season, Tabitha was trying to figure out where the wires went. So she was digging a hole in the basement, and it caved in and she fell down into the caves. And Victor's down there waiting because the boy in white told him to stay put because she would be coming. She would need his help to get out of the caves. So while they're in the caves, they come across a few things. They come across a suitcase that's got some clothing in it. They come across this big room that's got like travel clothing chests, and old TVs and bird cages and tricycles, and a couple of the monsters. So they go into this other room, and there's these little prison cells in the wall, and this ball comes rolling out. And there are these creepy looking kids in there. They look, really pale. Their clothes are all torn up and stuff. They scare Tabitha pretty good, and rightfully so. I mean, anybody would be. So after that, they get out. They spend the night in a trailer. Boyd's there. They meet Elgin. And as she's back in town, she keeps having visions of these kids. Long story short, she comes to the conclusion she feels like she has to go save the kids. Hers and the creepy kids that we met in the cave. So she goes through the bottle far away tree, comes up to a lighthouse, and the boy in white pushes her out and says this is the only way, and she wakes up in a hospital in the real world. So that's the really cool stuff that happened with Tabitha this season. I did enjoy what happened to her this season. So now we can talk about Jim. Okay, now that we've got all of that out of the way about Tabitha, let's get to Jim. Okay, this guy's had it rough this season. I mean, after he runs back trying to save his wife from the voice over the radio, the house falls on him. He has to spend the night in the house. 2 people die. He's banged up. He has to spend some time in the clinic, but he gets out and about. But he has got a serious case of the paranoia going on. So he sees Randall. See, this is where he ties into flying a drone because Randall's being Randall and being a little bit of a jerk and kind of buzzes him with the drone. So Jim's not done with the radio idea. So seeing the drone, that gives him the idea, hey, we can use that, get the antenna up, and it'll work out great. So they get together, they start hanging out, working on this. They come up with a plan, but Jim's paranoia fuels Randall's paranoia, and it just gets out of control. They're going to spend the night in the RV outside of town to see if they can see anything that they're not supposed to see. So they're going to go about their day as normal. They're going to meet up there after dark. They're going to spend the night out there. That's the plan. So Jim goes home, goes about his day. Tabitha comes to her decisions about what she's going to do. So Jim heads out to the RV, and what does he find? Randall's taking some initiative. He's kidnapped Donna, got her tied to a tree. He's going to kill her. Him and Jim get into it. Jim gets knocked to the ground. Boyd shows up, saves the day. They have to spend the night in the RV, where Randall falls victim to some cicadas. But they're part of Boyd's story, and that's going to be in part 2. We'll also be talking about Fatima, Ellis, and we'll catch up with Donna. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.